So now I'm just going to quickly just go through just 8 tips that have helped me to change careers. They might be very generic to you, or they may not be, but it's what has helped me. So number 1, know yourself and know what you love. Steve Jobs said, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow know what you truly want to become. Generally, if you're passionate about something, then you're probably naturally very good at it. My advice is to find the purest form of who you are and somehow build something around that. I've learned that to be a great business owner, you really must love what you do, because business is really hard. And unless you're in love with what you do, it's hard to endure the low points and the sacrifices long term, and you won't be inclined to go the extra mile or to challenge the status quo. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. As cliche as that is, I believe that's key. Nobody really cares about what or how you do something. It's about why you do something. Why you do something is what will inspire you and will inspire others around you. Listen to the voice inside your head. Again from Steve Jobs, because he's awesome. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. For me, when I was planning on changing to construction, I generally kept that to myself. I wanted to be accountable to someone, so I told Simon, but that's it. The dream of moving from a classical pianist to a builder is something that probably many people wouldn't have understood or believed was possible. So I didn't waste time seeking validation or asking permission from others. I think it's true that most people have a deep-seated need to be liked or validated, but this often comes at a great cost, often throwing your own dreams and plans off track. Often we are the only people who really know what we're capable of. Often only we understand that fire that is burning inside of us, that God-given purpose that is unique to us. Disregard other people's rules. I don't have a quote, so I couldn't find one. But there are no examples in history of great people doing great things by following conventional wisdom. There's so many ways to forge a path. The expected or conventional path is not always the best one. For me, getting into the industry the way I did was a bit crazy, and it got me into serious trouble, but I honestly believe that sometimes you just have to take a massive risk, back yourself, and dive in before you're ready. As a result, in my case, it meant that I was able to fast-track things and gain rapid on-site experience in how to run a construction site, how to schedule and coordinate work, how to do estimating and manage budgets, how to handle contract administration, how to liaise and communicate with clients, trade people and professionals, how to build company morale, how to set up systems and business policies. The list goes on. And it's stuff that I don't think I would have been able to learn as quickly or as well elsewhere if I didn't just dive in and have a crack. Number 4, take risks. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Most people tend to avoid risk because inaction is much safer. But most successful people will tell you that they got to where they are because they were willing to take the risks that no one else was. You can fail at something you hate, so you might as well take a risk on something you love. Risk takers are the differentiators. Because most people are unwilling to take risks, it's the risk takers of the world that tend to stand out in the crowd. And it's not easy to stake your reputation on an unproven idea or to sacrifice a steady paycheck for an idea that everyone else thinks is crazy. But risk is simply part of the deal. And here's one truth that I know: we almost always tend to exaggerate the outcome or jump to the worst possible conclusion. But really, the consequence is almost always just not nearly that bad. I personally believe owning a business is founded on taking risks and making mistakes. That's the best way to learn. Babies don't learn to walk by following rules. They learn to walk by falling over. And some say the key to success is simply perseverance. If you get knocked down 8 times, you just get up 9 times. Be productive, not busy. Either you run your day or your day runs you. Productive people have a mission. Busy people only look like they do. Busy people talk about how busy they are. Productive people let the results do the talking. Busy people say yes to everything, jumping on any trend or bandwagon. Productive people say no to most things. or carefully consider the value or implications before saying yes to things. So my system for each day that I try and stick to is I spend time first thing on site dealing with the day's most immediate issues, putting out fires, or not literal fires, just dealing with tradespeople or whatever needs to be done. And then I have a policy to sit down, undistracted, either on site or at a nearby coffee shop, and tackle a high value task that will add significant value to my business. See, this enables me to run my day rather than the day running me, to be proactive rather than reactive. I've also turned off email notifications off my phone, and I just check emails at 3 set times per day. Just reducing that distraction alone has really helped boost my productivity. And someone gave me a tip not too long ago to turn your car into a mobile university. And so whenever I'm out driving now, I'm always just listening to audiobooks on an app called Audible, or podcasts, just listening to anything, books on project management or time management. Sometimes I listen to the Bible, just anything that will help me make better use of that time. Being busy can be a comfortable trap. Sometimes your head can be buried so deep in work that years can pass before you realise the time that has passed you by. So for me, I'm constantly asking myself at any given moment in the day, is what I'm doing right now the best use of my time? Number 6, set up systems to avoid procrastination. I think there's 2 types of procrastination. Number 1 are those tasks that have a clear deadline. So a report that's due for work on Friday, or a speech that I'm doing today, or I need to hand over this job on April 1st, or whatever it may be. But those tasks, they have characteristics. Generally the panic will set in as the deadline approaches, and that panic will force you to act for fear of public humiliation or loss of job or another disastrous consequence. But the other type of tasks, they have no clear deadline. So examples of these could be personal dreams or goals, changing careers. And the difference here is that none of those other characteristics apply. There's no immediate consequences if you don't follow through. But unfortunately, this type of procrastination is really the most disastrous, because it can often mean that a whole lifetime can go past with dreams that go left unrealised. So this brings me to point 7, to reverse engineer. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So my tip is just to set 3 or 5 or 10-year goals and just reverse engineer how to achieve them. Break your goals into bite-sized pieces so that you can tackle them one day at a time. So it involves identifying your ultimate long-term vision or mission, and then working backwards through time to where you are now to methodically determine the smaller goals required to get there, and then turning those goals into actionable steps that you can start straight away. So there's lots of resources on how to reverse engineer and lots of different ways to do it, so I won't go into it. But for me, basically, I just have a 3-year vision, which I've turned into annual goals, which I've used to form actionable steps, which I monitor over, in a 90-day tracker. So last point, focus and simplify. Warren Buffett's definition of integrity is you say no to most things. People struggle when they don't know their end game, where they are going, or what they are striving for. It's key to know exactly where you are going and what you want to do or be. Then the key is just say no to everything else, including opportunities, even good opportunities. If they do not align with your end game, just say no. You see, if you have 3 priorities, you have the priorities. If you have 25 priorities, you just have a big mess. Everything you do should be an expression of your purpose. If an activity doesn't align with that formula, just don't work on it, period. And that's been a really hard thing for me to discipline myself to do, but I'm getting better at that. So that's pretty much all I have to say today. Again, my business is Front Porch Properties. If you are interested in seeing the other work that I do, you can follow me on Instagram on Front Porch Properties, or also on Facebook. Or if anyone wants to reach out, please feel free to do so. One of my other struggles, I suppose, is I do feel quite isolated in the industry. because I think I've just been in the industry for a short time, and when I started, I didn't know anyone, and so I'd be very happy for anyone to make contact via email. But anyway, thank you everyone for your time.